I just smoked a giant.
In the deer woods, you get out what you put in. Whether a weekend warrior or a year-long fanatic, in the end, you'll earn every inch. For us, that's a 365-day-a-year grind, scouting, setting up, making it a lifestyle. There's no words that can describe what deer hunting means to some, but a picture is worth 1,000 words, and now for nearly a decade and over 100 episodes, we've shared what it means to us in film. And more importantly, we've had the opportunity to watch, hunt, and just enjoy some of the biggest and oldest deer that call the Whitetail Woods home. This is Season 8.
Dean Partridge's Canadian Whitetail is proudly brought to you by Ozonics, undetectable, undeniable. Elite Archery, the world's most shootable bow. Stealth Cam, proven reliability, proven quality, proven performance. Excalibur Crossbow, the most trusted crossbows on the planet. Big & J long-range attractants. The aroma is super strong, the range is super long. Nocturnal lighted nocks, switch on accuracy. The Heater Bodysuit, #1 in cold weather hunting gear. Hoyman, your land, your legacy. Black Eagle Arrows, superior carbon technology. Central Boiler Outdoor Wood Furnaces, performance and value by design. The Whitetail Institute of North America. Under Armour, go where you don't belong. And by Limb Saver, products that work.
Hunting one specific buck is tough, especially if he won't cooperate. If he's hard to find, hard to pattern, hunting that deer can almost become daunting. Going back time and time again, wondering if you're in the right spot and hoping the buck makes a mistake. This week's episode features just those frustrations as we go with Scott Peters on his hunt for the big Boone & Crockett class typical that he calls Bernie. Reliable is an overstatement, as Scott had only gotten a couple of photos of the buck that he called Bernie over the past 2 years. But now in 2017, Scott heads in to build a new plot, hoping to improve the property. Definitely a labor of love, especially with very little equipment. These plots have proven to make huge improvements for small costs, with the biggest investment being time and sweat equity. After getting the ground worked, Scott hand seeds his new plot, hoping that all his hard work would pay off and that the weather would cooperate throughout the summer.
This segment has been brought to you by Central Boiler Outdoor Wood Furnaces. A central boiler easily connects to your existing forced air, in-floor radiant, baseboard, or dual heat system to heat your entire home and domestic water. Central Boiler, performance and value by design. Canadian Whitetail has also been brought to you by Slick Trick Broadheads and Dual Game Calls. Glendale, the biggest and toughest 3D targets in the universe. Bog Pod, more than just a shooting rest. Raculator, score your trophy fast, easy, and accurate. And by Scott Archery and Custom Bow Equipment. This segment has been brought to you by the Heater Bodysuit. The Heater Bodysuit is the ultimate cold weather hunting garment that allows you to stay on stand longer and sit comfortably. The Heater Bodysuit. You stay warm or your money back.
With his plot now up, it was time for Scott to head in and get set up, hoping that the deer had survived the previous season and was still in the area. With his plot up, his blind ready and brushed in, all that was left for Scott was to get some Big and J out and wait for the 2017 season opener.
It's my first hit with the Excalibur Crossbow this year on a deer that I call Bernie. Great looking 5x5. He's actually never been in good daylight. This year I decided to put in a Whitetail Institute plot. I've got some no plow. Came in really good, and as soon as it started coming up, the deer started showing up. Deer that hadn't shown up till November were here in August, so hopefully all the work I put into it in summer will pay off.
Early into Scott's first evening, the deer began to move. However, with a slow start to the season and no quality encounters over the next week, Scott is headed back to work and not set to return until November for the late season.
Welcome to this week's Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment. Locate, learn, set up, hunt. Brought to you by Big and J Long Range Attractants. The aroma is super strong. The range is super long.
This week's scouting segment's a little bit of an odd topic. It's kind of about positioning that deer for a good shot when you have the ability to somewhat control the situation. Where it's legal and in spots where you choose to hunt directly over an attractant like we are here, being able to position that deer broadside for a shot can make a big difference. Here we've got our blind to the north. We just put out our attractant, and on the far side of that attractant we're going to lay a log that sticks up a little bit across where we have that attractant. We'll then put our attractant out in front of that log and leave the area. You don't need a giant barricade, just a log, just a small obstruction. And what happens when that deer approaches that attractant, he's going to naturally feed into it or broadside from it. The last thing that deer is going to do is try to stand over and straddle this log to eat, which will give you a quarter to one shot, which you don't want. So by putting this small obstruction here, the deer's going to avoid it, and he's going to stand this way or broadside. And that's going to give you your best shot opportunity, and that's what we're looking for. We're always looking for that shot opportunity that gives us our best chance at a quick, clean, ethical kill. And using that log when you're going to hunt right over an attractant can really help you do that nearly every time. And that's your Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment for the week.
This week's Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment has been brought to you by Big and J Long Range Attractants. This segment brought to you by AAE. Innovation and integrity is in our blood. Quality and dependability is in our products.
Now November, and Scott having returned from work, he was headed in to get some more Big and J out and check his stealth cam, hoping that he had new photos of the giant typical buck that he calls Bernie. When he checks the card, he's greeted with pictures of the big typical, hitting the Big and J and in light. And with time off work for the late season, Scott gets a few practice shots in with his Excalibur Crossbow before heading out.
Well, it's November 20th. It's been 5 weeks since we've been able to hunt. So Well, it's day 2 of our late season in Saskatchewan, November 21st. Lucky enough, 3rd day in a row sitting here. Day 4 sitting here today. Well, here we are, it's day 6. Well, we're into the last 5 days here. So, as you can hear, it's really windy out. If you haven't noticed, I get all of the best days to hunt. Windy. Seems to be the norm for the days I can hunt during the week.
After several days in blind with no encounters and frustration setting in, a nice buck arrives passing through. Though not his target buck Bernie, this deer adds encouragement that anything can happen at any point. And Scott is hoping that that point is tomorrow, on his last full day to hunt for 2017. Heading into hunt in the minus 25 degrees Celsius weather, Scott is hoping that his hard work, patience, and time would pay off on his target buck, after having not notched a tag for the previous several seasons.
Last day of November here. It's earlier in the day, I didn't get in. I wanted to sit all day today, but I had some truck trouble, so it's lunchtime now and I'm in. We're good to go. Hopefully the big guy makes an appearance today. I have tomorrow morning left to sit. Cassidy has a hockey game in the evening that I can't miss, and then we'll sit and wait. We'll see what happens.
This segment has been brought to you by Bog Pod. More than just a shooting rest. Bog Pod. Prepare for the unknown. This segment has been brought to you by Nocturnal Lighted Nocks. Simple, string activated. And now you can get 15% off all items by entering promo code Whitetail15 at Faradyne.com. Nocturnal Lighted Nocks. Switch on accuracy and let it glow.
In and settled on his last day to hunt, the deer today begin to move early. When Scott sees this doe emerge, he sees movement behind her and notices that it's a buck, a big buck. As the buck steps out, he sees that all of his patience is about to pay off, as this is his target buck, Bernie. As the big typical comes closer, checking the doe, he stops at the big and J and begins to turn broadside.
Yes! I just smoked a giant. That's the buck I've been waiting for up here this late season. Yes, just got him. Excalibur. Beautiful. Well, here he is. Deer I've been chasing for better part of 2 weeks now here. It's definitely my biggest deer to date. Started getting trail camera pictures of him in 2015. That's when I got permission up here. He was there right away. I got it at the end of hunting season actually. Last year he was a 5x4. He was 5 on this side and he was only 4 over here. And this year he showed up about 2 weeks ago, just before rifle season started, and I had a new target. He's definitely mature. I figure he's in that 6.5, 7.5-year-old range. There's not a tooth left in his mouth. It's been 4 years since I arrowed a whitetail. And we had a couple bad winters in between. So for this guy to survive the winters of 2012, 2013, be able to push through and make it now, shows how resilient these whitetail really are. Came in today, full lip curl on a doe. Gave me some time to let my heart get under control, and before he turned broadside and gave me the shot. Pretty happy with him, pretty happy how things went down. He's a lot heavier than I thought he was. He's got a really cool line in here. Nice long tines. Couple stickers on each G2. Boy, dream buck for sure. Just want to thank everybody, like all the sponsors that helped Dean out throughout the year. Dean for helping me out throughout the year with everything. Listening to my endless stories about this buck coming in and how old is this, do you think this one is? In the end, it's all worth it. All comes down to it when you get to put your hands on a monarch like this. A legend is down.
Conditions aren't always perfect. You can't always be in the right spot, and the deer seldom cooperate. But Scott's willingness to stick in there and carry on, well, it led him to a giant Boone and Crockett class typical. Congratulations, Scott. That's one well-deserved deer. And thanks for watching this week's episode of Canadian Whitetail.
This segment has been brought to you by Wild Edge and the ultimate climbing system, the Step Ladder. Safely design your climb in any tree, anywhere, with the most versatile, lightweight, and compact climbing system, the Step Ladder. Canadian Whitetail has also been brought to you by these fine sponsors. For exclusive content, follow Dean and the team on Facebook, as well as on Instagram and Twitter @WhitetailDean. To view all our past and present episodes, as well as new original content, visit our YouTube, Carbon TV, and Waypoint TV channels. For Canadian Whitetail gear and apparel, visit CanadianWhitetailTV.com.
Audio